Hello chess friends, and welcome to Yazarov's chess channel, and welcome to my Basics in Chess series. So in this series we'll see opening principles, middle game strategy, and middle game planning, and of course the endgame strategy. So today I wanted to talk about some middle games again, and today I wanted to show you this power of this knight when you have the opportunity to put it on the 6th rank, or from Black's perspective if you have the opportunity to put it on the 3rd rank. You see this knight when supported like here with this e5 pawn, it's really dangerous around maybe Black's king, and of course you can grab some pawns sometimes, and you have really a nice space advantage with this knight on the 6th rank. And you see pieces like here this light square bishop by Black. You see this light square bishop will never attack this knight, and of course if you want to get rid of this knight on d6, you have to maybe sacrifice your rook for the exchange, or of course sometimes in some occasions you will have to give up your queen for this knight. So you see when you put this knight on this d6 square, you should also try to put it in sort of a diagonal position if your opponent has still this knight on the board, because you see this Black's knight will need 3 more moves in order to attack the knight on d6. And you know, chess is all about tempos. You see, meanwhile, while maybe Black tries to kick away your knight from the square on d6, you can play some moves, of course, and reorganize your attack and create even better threats meanwhile. So you see this knight on d6 is really now strong. Of course I haven't put some more pieces on the board, but I wanted to realize that these 4 squares are really battling against this knight on the 6th rank. And let's see now a couple of examples how dangerous this knight on the 6th or the 3rd rank can be. So here I set you up a position. It was a game by Jerome Piquet against Ilya Yulievich Smirin. And you see now the position. The position is really complicated, and maybe some of you would try maybe moves this a4, b5, sort of an attack here on, sort of a flank attack here on the queen side. But you see we have here this advanced c5 pawn, and you see when we watch our opponent's half of the board, we have to search squares or pawns that are weak. So you see we have here the opportunity to put something on the square on d6. So this is sort of a very weak square in Black's position, so we should try somehow to get our knight here on this d6 square. So how to do that? Here Jerome Piquet finds a very nice positional idea. He plays the move knight on b1, a really weird move. Why did he bring his knight again on the first rank, on the starting square? You see this was a very nice positional game, because he tries here knight on d2, then knight on c4, and then to bring the knight on d6, which will really be a positional advantage for white here. So here knight on e6 was played, knight on d2, knight on d4, and now knight on c4. Knight takes on e2, queen takes on e2, and now b6. So here Jerome Piquet doesn't even react on this attack on the c5. He plays immediately knight on d6, queen on e6 was played, and now rook on d1, really supporting his knight, which is now the main positional advantage here for white. So we don't want to get rid of this knight, of course, on d6. We want to stay with our knight there and simply play around this knight and create some attacks. You'll see in the continuation of the game how dangerous this knight will be. So here b takes c5 was played, and now rook on c1, c takes b4. Now we have rook takes c6, now b takes a3, bishop takes on a3. Now rook on d8, rook from d to c1, queen on g8, and now rook on c7. So you see, while we have played around this knight, we have now even occupied the 7th rank. So you see, Black was really occupied with this and really bothered here by this knight on d6, and there's no way to kick away the knight anymore, because if you try somehow to play moves as bishop on f8. You see this rook is on the 7th rank. It also indirectly attacks the knight, so this would be a deadly move, this bishop on f8. So here a5 was played, queen on b5, bishop on a6, queen on d7, or queen sacrifice even here by Jerome Piquet. Rook takes on d7, rook takes on d7, and now rook on d8, rook on e7. We have here bishop on e2, now knight takes on e5, queen on a2, and now rook on c7, rook on g8, and now this knight comes very effectively on this 8th rank, knight on e8, and now you see there's no way to protect anymore this bishop on g7, and of course in this position black simply resigned, because we have also threats here, knight on f6, so multiple ideas here for white, knight on f6, and then after that a knight on g6 would be even checkmate. So you see this knight on d6 idea was very good by white. He simply found this knight transposition of his knight, an improvement of the position, and he fixed it really on this very nice square on d6, and that's what's really a nice positional game by Jerome Piquet. So let's see now another example. It was a game by Peter Arsenievich Romanovsky against Andrei Alexandrovich Smorododsky. Here black has the problem. He has this weak bishop on c8, and this knight is also not good coordinated because it's on this weird square on f8. So here white tries knight on a5 with also ideas to play knight on c4 and then occupy somehow the 6th rank, maybe on b6, or here also on a weak square here from black's perspective on the square on d6. So here rook on c7 was played, now rook on d1, h5, rook on d2, rook on d7, knight on a4, king on e8, and now white occupies here the 6th rank. Here knight on b6, here we have rook on c7, and now rook on knight on c4, we have bishop on d7, and now knight on d6. Now we have white broke here two knights on the 6th rank, and now you see a perfect coordination by these two knights. Of course king on e7 had to be played, and now knight on b5. If black takes the knight, then we have simply d6. So rook on c8 was played, and now knight takes on c8, rook takes on c8, and now again this knight comes on this d6 square, and black tried to play along here, but in a couple of moves he simply resigned here, because you see white is up the exchange, and again we have this sort of diagonal position of the knight. So white will need at least 3 moves to kick away this knight from the square of d6, of course, and this is now a completely winning game for white. So the third example that I wanted to show you, it was a game played by Sergei Karyakin against Magnus Carlsen. It was their rapid game from the World Championship match in 2016. And you see Magnus Carlsen has a very nice knight here on the 3rd rank, so he occupied now white's position here really, and his knight on e3 is really dominating on the board. But he has this problem that Sergei Karyakin, he still has this bishop on c3, and he can play maybe bishop on d2 and tries to get rid of this knight on e3. So here Magnus Carlsen finds a very nice idea. He plays a really nice positional pawn sacrifice. He plays the move e4. So he wants to get rid of this bishop, which is the only possible attacker of this knight on e3. So we have here d takes e4, and now bishop takes on c3, rook takes on c3, and you see now we have a position in which white doesn't have any more pieces that can attack here this knight on e3. So this is now a perfectly placed knight. You see white doesn't have a knight, or maybe the star square bishop to attack the knight, and now Magnus Carlsen simply plays around this knight and he wins the game easily. So here queen on e5 was played, rook on c1, and now rook on a8, h3, h6, king on h2, queen on d4, queen on e1, and now queen on b2. You see, we have immediately checkmate threat here, so that's why bishop on f1 has to be played, and now rook on a2, takes on c7, and now rook on a1. And in this position, Sergei Karakin resigned because he has to play the move queen on h4, and of course we are able to take the bishop on f1. So you see, this was a very strong idea here by Magnus Carlsen, this move e4. It was really sort of a positional pawn sacrifice, but you see, Magnus Carlsen realized, of course, that this knight is really dominating on the board, and of course he wants to play simply with this strong but also a simple idea in chess, and of course he managed to win the game. And after that, of course, he continued to be the world champion in chess, of course. So I hope you realize this idea. Sometimes when you play chess, of course, you try some complex ideas, you try some checkmate threats, but you see, when you have sometimes the possibility to put your knight on the 6th or 3rd rank, try it, and of course gain some space and play simply around this knight, and combined with other pieces, you see, you can win games really effectively and without even calculating so much. So meanwhile, of course, guys, you can watch all my other basics in chess videos, my middle game strategy, my opening principles, and this endgame strategies. And of course, you can also watch my chess tactics, chess puzzles series. And of course, you can also subscribe to my channel. Thanks you for watching, and chess is the best, of course.